Yo, what's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? How's it going? I'm here, gonna have a bit of chill, probably roughly an hour-ish. Guess that's gonna be the plan. Not anything too crazy. So, yeah, that's the bigger and better plan in general. That's thy plan. Probably do some warm-ups too, but I guess playing it there. Haven't really played much. That's good if I get some playing. Although, we'll see if it goes. We have some doubts it will, but we'll see. It was also a good match. This Nihal match was pretty good. Although Ding I felt was unfortunate most of the time. He was very challenging for Nihal, and this was Nihal's territory, not the other way around. Ding is a classical player mostly. You gotta admit that he's more classical in general. Some games. Ooh, Duckmate. Duckmate, look at that. Duckmate. Absolute Duckmate. Okay, that's pretty cool. Now, who would have thought you can do the Trojan Duck here as well? I wouldn't have. Not ever. It's pretty cool though. Actually, pretty cool. How would you contrast the skill sets? I mean, it's mouse speed. It's more of how you play online. Like, online stuff is just different. You don't have to do you don't have to have any motor skills, or very little motor skills. Good motor skills when you're doing, very, very little do you need. When you're playing over the board. Like, that's not something that, that you need, right, Grex? Of course, you have to coordinate a little bit, but, I mean, not that of, it's not that important. And these kids are really good. They're speedy. They're just really good at that. And of course, they're good players. But that's sort of the big difference. That they have the speed and the agility to do all that. Which of course is something else. Something else. Mental stuff? I mean, it's more or less the same thing. just have a hiding square, or tragedy would strike. I think mentally it's the same thing. It's nothing too different. There. Well, unless I missed the meeting, shouldn't be something right immediately. But hey, I might have missed the meeting. Might have missed the meeting. For sure, Kygrix. Sure. Does not do that. Okay. I don't think I want to trade. I think I'm just gonna develop normally. A3. I mean, I have this threat. Can take with the pawn too. Take this way. I don't know. Okay. B6 is interesting. First, let's win time. Here, maybe I could even show up. Maybe. I don't know if I will, but I could. Queen is a little funky there. Is an idea. If it's good enough, I don't know. My king is in the middle, so it's kind of dicey for me as well, but I mean, it shouldn't be that bad. So go for this. Exactly what my opponent is sort of seeing and feeling. There. Go h5 takes. No, that doesn't do anything. If I go h5, yeah, it's very stupid of a move, but I felt like playing it. There. I'm spending a bit too much time on going this direction, but you know what, I go here because I do want to go this way. I don't want to castle long. A little hazardous, but who's there? Wait, bishop g4, you lost? Takes. At least I believe that's over. In that case. Here I might take. Okay, so I could go g5. I could go knight f6 there. 5. Gonna go here. I'm slow. Why I'm doing this? Why didn't I just do the right thing? Ah, that was stupid. That was stupid. I'm better, but not much better. I could have done. That was dumb. Go here. Yeah, that was so stupid. That was so stupid. After pawn. Fix that. Here, hit Hey! Alright, what happened here? It was weird of a game. I was pretty sure an idiot. I'm sure I was an idiot. For sure I was an idiot. Want validate, I don't want any of that. Okay, so what was happening? Okay, H5. H5 I think is fine. H is a little okay. Cafe is interesting. Here. And of course, what an idiot. I mean, I should have just gone rook h6. Knight f6 was just trying to be too smart. Hey, Risky, what's up? Yeah, I think that's just too smart. Knight f6 is smart. Here, I was worried more of this, but yeah, then you go here. And I can just went here. It's still good. Okay, so I didn't play it too bad. My opponent was struggling. Yeah. Alright, that was fine. Go back. Yeah, I think that was fine. More or less fine. Fine of a game, actually. Yeah. Let us Z. Oh, two people. These people. In die hiding. Okay, we'll see. Get some games going. That is what I'm trying to do. Well, in that case, don't mind. Watch this Magnus stuff. Yo, Dodgy, thank you so much for the raid. Dodgy, I appreciate your raid so much and hope you're going to have a fun time at Sieges. Now, I know that's a cool place and it's prestigious. Also, talking about prestigious, congrats on your cup. And just held. And people do follow, subscribe, and enshrine the name Mr. Dodgy. So here we're going to actually look a bit at Magnus clubbering poor DUBOV. It's not going to be easy. I mean, easy watch. It's gonna be a hard watch. Yeah, this is like a nice little cheapo. Never really take here. Bishop f7, knight g5. Let me actually update the title. Official Magnus watch. 5 on Eurosport. I mean, I'm not gonna make it to Eurosport, but that'd be cool. Okay, so knight h6. castles. So black has good development, but the queen is very funky over there. And I can't speak. Okay, this feels like you're left with a bad pawn and a hard life. That's knight c6. Even if you lose, I mean, you could even just lose the pawn. Takes rook b8. Knight d7 is also fun. And c6 is good. And in general, these pawns would 8. Rook e5. Wait a second. Wait a sec. Takes, rook takes. 8. I guess b3, rook d8. The pawn is weak, but I kind of feel that there's a higher chance that these pawns are gonna roll. Takes some cheapos. DUBOV doesn't fall for it. Push the pawn. Nah, he doesn't. Just chills. Okay. Okay, so practically it's not that easy. There's a bit of Banco pressure, but it shouldn't be enough. Takes. DUBOV is of course up on time, as per usual. Oh, I guess usual is a bit of a stretch. Yeah, bring the king. And he's going to start running. Maybe king c2 is even better. Because you don't allow this. Although, even trade is fine and just run. Although, I don't know, the king can be... the king can be tricky. Yeah, takes, a5, takes. Well, I'm starting to worry for DUBOV's health. Rook d5 was nice. Counter nice. But those pawns are going to start running. Those twinsies. Oof. That's gonna start run, and these pawns look pretty, but the f pawns are underestimated. Six takes, f2, and you're not even sure you're holding. I mean, I should hold. Oh, is he actually? I'm not saying she. Wait. You might be just lost now. Wow. Man, this guy's too good. Get him out of here. He's too good. He's too good. Mag's too good. That was incredible. Like, yeah, it started with knight takes c5. It started like simplification, but it was a bad simplification. Taking some space. e5, trying to get a fighting position, but a terrible bishop. So that's, you know, for the fighting chances, mostly. f3. Queen d2, you could go f4. Ooh, I don't like that. a4, that's... I mean, come on, this doesn't look good. Takes, f4 maybe. Just wins a pawn. Come on, DUBOV. Mate. Somehow mate. Maybe get in here. Is interesting. Goes f4. At f6. Probably you could see g5, h5. He goes g5 instead. Okay, h6, takes. And of course we've seen billion games with g5, g4, but it's much slower than it looks. Much slower. 7, b4. Takes, trades, g5, okay. h3. Doesn't even do that, he wants the trade. Plan is rook g8, g4. Probably going to get going. He goes g4 now. Takes f3 is an idea, so the knight can slalom in. Or maybe even knight f6, which is kind of the original idea. Takes, knight b5. Yikes, knight e5 doesn't work, but he uses the same tactic. And it feels kind of slow. Ooh, wait, knight g3, rook g6. Wait, that was a horsey. That was a horsey. What happened to the horsey? Knight g here. And then there's g5. You may not want to do that. But again, DUBOV is very low on time. Sort of the interesting part. Bishop d4. Yeah, I mean, objectively, this is low now. A pony. There, I guess he would try again to have a billion pawns. But this should be a win. This should be a win. What up, Shaggy? How's it going? Rook here. They're trying to somehow find dirt, but yeah. Check. Bishop f2. Oh, that's sexy. That's sexy. Sexy, sexy mating ideas. Ooh, but there's no mate yet. Mate. So they're actually bulletin. They're bulletin. Come on, DUBOV. Go b4. b4. c3 again, the same way. 4. Let's go. Big match. I don't know why they're playing the bullet. Check bishop e3, but there's also queen d8 if I'm not completely out of my mind. There, knight h6, playing rapid? I don't know if I'm going to play rapid, but maybe. If I am properly motivated. Probably not. There, queen d5. Another cheapo, but the problem is, once those pawns start rolling, actually black is the one who's gonna press. So DUBOV insists on action. c4. e4 goes knight g4, tries to get the bishop pair. That happens, the situation gets better for black. But for now, he's a little bit scattered all around the board. I would go AB, just open it up. For sure. Knight b3, I don't like this. A little lifeless. Go here. Bishop h4, g3. Bishop c1, not my favorite square. I don't know, why is he undeveloping? That's not necessarily the way to play. Not necessarily the way to play. There. a4, then you already got hit by bishop. 4. a4, still no. At f7, rook c6, but the rook is going to be... I don't know what DUBOV is doing, and I don't think DUBOV knows either. What's happening? What the heck? What is going on? These pieces just... Oh no. Yeah. Sometimes things just don't work out the way you want them. This is just completely frozen. Yeah, I mean, he's just losing. But also, his position is objectively pretty much lost. Brutal. Pretty brutal. And that's almost mate. Yikes. Yikes. Talking about sieges, I didn't even know it's going to happen. So I'm not gonna miss this one. But hopefully next year I'd be giddy to go. Okay, so some aggressive play by DUBOV. Solid stuff. b4 takes. I don't like this for white much. There's going to be a very nice little square on c5. Let's go back. The b5 is a very ambitious play, just taking away the c4 square. And now Magnus has to make some concessions. a5. a6, queen c2, queen c7. e6, soon e5 may come. I don't like this for white. I mean, black is actually the one dominating most of the critical squares. Black owns the center. There's not much play here, and DUBOV is again like thinking ungodly amount of time. Wait, d5 almost worked, but he's waiting. It's definitely not looking good for white. Yep, he's winning the pawn. But at least Carlsen gets some white squares. That's what he's hoping for. Some good old white squares over there. So, takes. Yeah, I don't know if d5 was necessary, but I guess he just wanted to eliminate giving that square, and that's completely fine. Ah, and I wish I could. So yeah, coming home for DUBOV. Not for the English team, but for DUBOV. He is actually getting what he wanted. d5? Wow. Takes. 97 here. Goes for knight f5 immediately. I mean, takes. He's just going to flag. I'm not sure that he's worse. d3? Just ignoring it. Like, black is fine, maybe even better, but, I mean, 0 to no time, this ain't looking great. Do they have, like, an increment? Maybe they do. Yeah, they do have a 1-minute increment. But, I mean, still, it's not quite enough. d3 takes. Alright, that's going to be fun if it turns into that ending. In e4. Sneaky. But yeah, even here, the fact that DUBOV has just one moment to think, yeah, he's now lost the pawn. But again, that f5 wasn't that great. Okay, he loses another one. Basically over. What's up, Manil? But let's see how he does it. So he's building a little shelter here. Going to be a little cave on g4, and then starts pushing the pawn. Check, then there's queen f5 and defense. Back to the cave, so it's kind of a little nice little hole over there. Check. Probably he's going to... He's not even doing anything. Again. Ooh, that was a pawn. Ooh. Okay, so this is gonna be a never-ending one. This is pretty brutal, but... Okay, check. Almost mating. But you're not quite mating. Okay, so he's trying to hold. Of course, this can be lost easily. Wait, queen d8, then there's always takes. This is a good move. Queen away, so there's no trades. Probably going to go for 105 million moves, but f4 tries that g5 idea. Yeah, but now you're gonna get checked to eternity, because you can never really defend that. Yeah. Going around, billions of checks. No more checks though, but okay, so g5, still a try, defends the 8th, and it's more or less drawn. It obviously is a draw. But will he hold? That's what we're looking at. e4, check. He's trying to make this work, but I don't know if it does. Check there. He goes here. Check. Yeah, it's just going to checked forever. Also, Magnus is low on time too, but it doesn't really matter here. Also, you lose pawn. However, there is mate. Oh no. Lag, and also he fell into that last trick. Yikes. It should have been a draw though. And mostly had to do with time. Ooh, d4, d5. That is actually pretty picturesque. Very unique move. Haven't seen this. Usually see knight e4. Don't know what the heck is this. What the heck is this? For d5? It's losing? No. It is actually viable. They're trading knight a6. This is sort of a pet of a pet. Everyone's pet. Rook e8 goes there, puts pressure. Castles. c6. Although you can go bishop f5, yeah. Probably it's an idea to take with the bishop, because that knight is terrible. Trading it off, I'm not sure if it's a great thought process. Best endgame? Yeah. Here. Knight d5, wow. Knight d5 is very sexy. There's sexy moves, but that was very sexy. Takes, check, trades. I mean, this is like a little better. Probably it's very annoying though. Pretty annoying. Pretty annoying. Pretty annoying. Rook b5, you can't even go there because I take. If I lose the pawn, you're very close to loss now. Actually, I take that back. Like, this is actually just lost. And DUBOV has no time. So, all kinds of fun and no kinds of fun at the same time. Okay, you could go there. Or rook e1 takes. The king is cut, which is the bigger problem. The king being cut, that's terrible news. Just straight up terrible news. Yeah, ending, terrible time. Okay, so they're playing a Rati Gambit. G3, are we going to see... Okay, so it's sort of like a reversed decline. There's some going to be e5 and stuff. Don't know if... they're not going for it. Bishop d7, b5. The queen is a little iffy. 5 e4. That e4 queen. Oh, back up. Okay, there. Yeah, the thing is, queen is a little weird, but probably is going to deal with it soon. e3 is trying to undermine it. e5. Probably e takes is best, because if check, well, who cares? I'm just gonna walk. Takes, I'm even thinking of some c5. That's also nasty. Queen c8. There's knight e5, rook e1, and you just get molested on the file. Absolute molestation there. And devastation too. Here, oh, I don't like that. Bishop b4. Yeah, he might want to do this, but I think it's just over. This must be just completely busto. It's completely lost. Takes, knight takes, the rook is trapped. Although, there is still a momentum for DUBOV. He lost the material, which he never actually cares. Yeah. The knight gets to c5, and he's going to try to get that. Not gonna be that easy. Knight c5 takes, and rook takes e4 maybe is an idea. d3 is something to hope for. I don't think it's objectively enough. It's kind of interesting, but it's not enough. Takes. Rook takes. Okay, this of course he's showing off. This I don't think was good, obviously. It was somewhat unnecessary. Even here white is better, because the pawns are weak and the king is just safer. But it was completely unnecessary, of course. Like, that is, of course, the case. e6, c5. Here I can move. I think c5 takes, he checks first. Takes, yeah, that's here. Whoa! Whoa! Nice! Haha! That's a sweet trick. Okay, so now it's going to be a very hard technical stuff. Although, how hard can it get? You still made this king, or try to. Um, yeah, it should be just losing, objectively. It can get tricky. There, check, h4, start running the h pawn. He's winning time, and he should. Oh, the king is walking in. Walking in, check, check. I mean, soon should be a way to win, but he's not even bothered. And of course, he shouldn't be, because it's just going to wait. Just mess it up. Wow, queen f6. Okay, now he takes. The pawn runs in. Walks. Could even take. And the pawn just marches in. Wow, it was very impressive. Very impressive little trick by DUBOV. That was pretty nasty. 4 takes 6, d5. We kind of transposed into reversed waters, I believe. In this case, does feel like it. I don't know. White might actually still have a little bit of pressure, but it's minuscule. Minuscule. I don't think it's quite enough. Also because white has a weak well, so it's actually not bad. See? Knight f5. There is knight d4 tricks, although d5. Okay, he doesn't go for that. Takes h1, queen f4. Yeah, kind of weird. 4. Oi, caramba, knight g4. Okay, so knights are tricky, and in fact, he says that, like, said that earlier. Magnus said that knights are tricky, but so are bishops. Oh no, you could have just taken. Yeah, sometimes you're trying to be too smart. Yeah, so rook b7 there, pressure over there, knight c4, knight e5, and again, from having a terrible position, is just great suddenly for Magnus. Yeah, now there's some issues on f7 as always. Man, this is rough. This is El Rafo. 3. F7 here does not react. At g5, the king will have to bolt. Bolts this way. Takes. The king walks. I think black is okay because of the king's safety. King is safer. Bishop d4. I don't think it's lost. But maybe I'm a bit optimistic. 6. Kind of running low on time. a5, yeah, no. That's not gonna be a good idea. Although he might want king h4, king g... Ah, that's his plan. Yep, he wants this, so DUBOV stops him. Rook c4, check. Yep, that's a good idea. Rook e2 over defending. Check. And now this should be, of course, thinning. Rook f5. The king will walk up. 4 takes. Rook e4, very nice. And the lack of harmony. Might actually tell the tail. Goes there. Little double attack. Go here, just walk, and now you take. H5, rook g8. Check here, and you can win that guy. Yup. That was actually quite a battle. Quite a battle. C4, and things are getting serious. DUBOV is actually playing some good stuff. Queen a4. Kind of a professional and a prophylactic move. Very, very typical line. I think this was played in a Fabiano game against Dominguez. Knight d2. Bishop is threatened. Some knight h4 to go after the bishop. Yeah. Tries to get this. And I think this was also a Nepo Nakamura game. Surprisingly. Surprise, surprise. Trades. All fairly normal. c5. Queen b1 moving away. Eventually White might want to go e4, e5. But for now he's just content with weakening the structure. Knight e4. It's kind of a pseudo threat. But DUBOV has none of that. 4 takes. He's actually gotten a very nice position. A great grip. Because these pawns are dangerous. This pawn is weak. So maybe a5 just to fix it. Yes. That's a weakness. And now you can also go g6, g5. It's actually clearly a DUBOV pull in this position. If anyone is playing for a win, it's DUBOV, of course. Rook e8. Yeah, black is actually dominating. However, I think he might be giving some space here. b3 could become an idea. Maybe b3 is a plan, but I think DUBOV is taking it a bit too slow. g4 takes. I mean, there was an opportunity there. b3. Okay, so it's a long-term plan. Probably still pretty good. Maybe rook f7, rook f5, and just go there after those guys. But you still would want to evaluate the situation and get your rooks on the right track. So here, rook here, we're gonna put pressure. Rook f6, e2, and yeah, this was much better earlier on. I felt he kind of lost the momentum. Wait, there could be this trick, but then again, it just misplaces the knight. e4 takes, then there's check and take. It's already kind of tense, and I mean, of course you can't really take because the pawn just runs. Huh. That is crazy, actually. e2 there. He's probably hoping to go e4 sooner or later. He's waiting around. Yeah, now he stops that idea. Ooh, he wants to go in, and maybe even knight g5. A lot of shuffle in h6. Either fixing or creating a weakness. g6 is dangerous. That pawn, that square might be a problem. Knight e4, of course you want to trade that. There, g5 is interesting. Trades. You can get the rook in. f7. Ooh, the pawn. Kind of turned a lot of times. That was a very important move. Because now that's a huge threat. And black might find himself in danger. Although the c-pawn is still quite venomous. Check. King c6, and also the time is pretty venomous because you have none. I have not. Ooh, wow, that's brilliant. Wow, that was brilliant. That was brutal. Riek play, I have not played Magnus. Okay, so he's going for this. Yeah, Magnus was under pressure and then he somehow excavated himself quite beautifully, and that was quite something. d5. Ooh, d5 is nice. And that's actually just noticing that Magnus missed out on that knight f6 move. Wow, takes. So this is all subtle one. Okay, Dubov, B4. B4, you're that kind of guy. B4. Come on, Dubov, B4. No, that's not what you do. You don't think play B4 and you win. Just go B4, you win. That's all you do. It was too quick. We're going to go back for that one, Driptonio, later. But of course, there's live action. In F3, of course, this is completely losing. Black has too many pieces still in the garage. But still, no B4. I mean, come on, B4. You're gonna regret not playing B4. You're always gonna regret that. Takes. Of course, you can check here which is winning. Every move here is winning. But mostly, spending time is a bad idea. In general, not a great thought. Takes. There, queen takes the rook is trapped. Bishop c5. I think he's just taking it a bit too slow. This should be winning, but why give a lifeline to Magnus? Queen f5 is good. Finally getting closer. Come on, Dubov. Rook d. Okay. Takes. Too technical. Bishop e3. Nah, rook d6. Queen a4, queen b5. Even queen c4. And no, he's just giving too many lifelines. Queen h5. That's very tricky. e3, counter tricky. F takes, rook takes, and now it's anyone's game. Takes. Ooh. Sizzling. That's brutal. That is just brutal. That's absolute brutalizer. No, he really had to go for the attack immediately. 4, d5, c3, bishop f5, f3. And that's crazy. There, bishop g6, the bishop is out and about. However, it is a target. So that's sort of the negative situation. h7. Bishop d3 sacrifices the pawn. Does not take because of check. And g4, knight e6. Dubov is on the tilt train. So he will get the chance to take on d4. Bishop f4, rook d1 is coming. Again, stuck with that terrible bishop. Bishop there. Ain't having a fun time. Ain't having a fun time, mate. Actually kind of struggling. And I don't even know. G5. H takes here maybe. Yep, you take, obviously. Queen g3, then there's, well, h4 you can capture. Queen f3. Problem for black, rook d1 is going to be strong. And g6, bishop g5 is also pretty brutal. g6, exactly, you get that square for the bishop. Bishop g5 nonetheless, because that's mate. Takes, and it's a queen sacrifice back to back, which is kind of crazy. That is not what you would expect. Getting all those queen sacrifices in a row. It was 2 games in a row. Bob, thank you for the follow. d6, knight d7. 5, well, play some weird type of position. h3, g6. So we kind of got into modern. 6, bishop d2, bishop g7. And it's sort of like a Breyer, but no pawn weaknesses. So it's a little different than usual. So it's not that clear what black is going to do. Black goes queen e7, maybe 8. Could even go knight f8. Goes a5. 8. Very, very traditional position. White is a bit better, obviously. Bishop c6, and they're just chilling. H4, h5 actually is something that Dubov could go for, but he's not someone who get tempted. Takes, rook c8. White is better, but white needs to do something eventually. Bishop d2. He's trying not to do anything, but there's going to be pressure on e4. E4 is a little weakness, and he goes into this line of play that's favored by the computers, killing the play on this side. And but now that there is sacrifices abound, although f6 doesn't work, so it's kind of stumped. Wait, knight f5 takes, and that is hanging. Knight f3 is way too solid. I mean, he'd go knight f5 in a heartbeat against anyone else. Now I think the position got into nothing. It started out interesting, but now it is actually black who has control. Takes h4. We even start rolling with the pawns. Yeah, indecisive play. White had really good chances. Now I don't think he's better. I think he's, on the contrary, a little bit worse. Rook e3, g6 takes, rook takes, but that does give a square. That actually might turn the evaluation around. There could be some threats. Rook h7. What is a lifeline for black if he gets to activate the knight and get the rook in? Is better? Yeah, and he manages. This doesn't look good. Knight g3. Rook here. f4 is even. Wait, no, f4 is a little early here. Good double. Here, might risk some tactics. Knight e6. Rook e4, rook e4 would be an idea, but knight e4 is keeping tension. Knight g5. Problem now that these pawns are extremely weak and the c pawn is untouchable. This is practically just a lost position. Wonder he straight up decided to get flagged instead. Knight c3, bishop f5 again. Knight f6, g4 again. Well, not again, but f3 was played. Repeat of previous game. Wow, e4, we almost in the same position, but with a slight difference with the pawns being on g5, h4, and a v king. 5, bishop b4 gets the bishop. But the thing is, black has good control of important squares. So castles a3 takes, knight c3, knight f5, c5 will be an idea. This is actually amazingly good for Dubov. Takes, there's pressure there. And I kind of like black. Knight c6 felt a little slowish. She probably wants to go with this plan. Can go b6, c5. It is sort of a game that should only be won by Dubov. But of course, we could say that in many games before. This time, we'll see if it's still going to be the case. There, he might double prepare c5. Even walking your king away might not be that great because your king is exposed. He's trying to hold up this c5 break. 7 tactically setting this up. c5 might actually work because takes. Yep, so he plays it. Queen b5. Tries to seep in through the cracks. e5 could be somewhat... Okay, c4. You gotta go c4 eventually. Although maybe then there's going to be just a chill. Alright, so there, queen b5, queen c8. Wait, c4, queen b4 still works. So this is building the Aliahin's gun. Takes. There's going to be some issues. Takes, rook c3, yeah, and this is practically losing. But of course, black needs to be somewhat accurate. But objectively, it's like easy win. So there, queen c5 or d3. Just takes the pawn, which makes a ton of sense. Day Corgi, thank you for the follow. Knight f5. Wait, is your rook gonna get trapped? Probably not. 2, this does not work. Queen c2, yep, just simplifying. Knight b4. Of course, there's this trick. Of course, this is just lost, so there was no point trying any longer. Actually, just hopeless. Bishop c4, d3. Classical Italian. Nothing unusual at all. This is actually something Magnus played against Anand in an Armageddon match in Norway, which didn't turn out in his favor. But he keeps repeating the line anyways. In d7, white has a beautiful knight, but so what, says Carlsen. Even go knight h7, knight e7, just go against the d5 knight. So queen c8 over defense. He's kind of ready for that structure, but not gonna keep it there forever. Takes bishop b5, there's c6, and you may even get your bishop trapped. d4, then there's e4. So having the bishop here, and when the position is closed, it's not actually such a daydream. So f3 tries to open it up, get the bishop on this diagonal, for sure. Knight g4 and using that trick, but it actually doesn't work perfectly. Takes, knight takes. He may even start gambling, and I really hope he does. Go bishop d3 here, come on. Nah, bishop g5. He ain't gambling. I don't like that. There is going to be too much control in this, honestly. Just too much control situation. Queen c2, knight h4, f4, there was knight f3 check. Takes, and black will be in just in time to consolidate. Yep, takes, knight d5, and yeah, this is just completely busto. There, queen takes. This is just completely losing. Not much you can do, you're mostly just struggling. Just straight up struggling. There, king b. Time, position, everything, check, doesn't matter. c6, in fact, you should. Now you lose the knight. Knight is lost, and the game is lost too. That is kind of tragic, obviously. e4, c5, f4, very, very rare line, played by the late Yevgeny Sveshnikov, who has the Sveshnikov variation named after him. He greedily sticks to the pawn, but the bishop is outside and can run into some troubles, and this bishop on c1 is quite terrible. There could be e6 and stuff, but I don't know for sure. 6, that is a threat, but probably Dubov can just go queen c7. I see no reason not to go that way. Goes a6, trades it, b6. Even if you just take there, exactly, and he does, white is just facing a pair of bishops is just uncomfortable. It's not popular for that very reason. Bishop f2. And yeah, this is a little painful for Magnus, but I mean, he gets a pawn for it, so it's something. h3 also stops any future bishop g4s, so it's kind of doing its purpose. Maybe knight e5 could be interesting. Then even f6 is an idea. Knight e2, yeah, black is just dominating. White's pieces are just so bad, they're just not going to do enough. Just going to be quite troubling. Knight e5 came as I kind of predicted, but I mean, yeah, you don't really have to react. even if you take, this bishop is going to be monstrous. This knight won't be able to stay on that passive square forever. And he kind of goes the other direction, which is fine, but maybe not the strongest. All that said, black, of course, is the one pressing and not white. Two. Can't really go bishop c6. Takes. Huh. And again, that's why probably trading was not that necessarily good. Like, was kind of unnecessary. Maybe he wants to go bishop c8, then, or just get the bishop on the diag. Knight f4 check. There, bishop, finally the bishop arrives. Rook e3, and again, he's allowing Magnus some counterplay. Queen b8 looks quite tricky. This doesn't quite work. Looks pretty, but it doesn't work. Rook e5, and he's now just down 55 pawns. So even if he loses the knight, there'll be compensation. Yep, he goes for that. d4, c6, rook f4, queen b7. And yeah, it turned. It kind of turned. All of a sudden, c7, a new queen is coming. There are big. Whoa, that's mate in one. Probably it was kind of bad that moment already, but it again turned. That was weird. Wow. Okay, so Magnus actually improves defends the d5 square for this time. Does not give an inch. Does not give an inch there. Nahusar, yeah, Nahusar. Or there, knight takes. A little bit too solid by Dubov. Bishop c3, and it's objectively very minuscule advantage for Dubov. So if anything, I mean, this is not a serious. Here, g3, queen e2, b5, very good. Trying to undermine b3, keeps the tension going. Doesn't actually go for anything aggressive, and now actually starts to press the pawn. Now here Dubov could go bishop d2 exactly. He takes, and suddenly mating attacks might be a bounce. It's unlike rook e4. Rook g4 could be an idea. Rook e4, come on Dubov. No, what is bishop e3? Wanted probably rook d7, but I mean that's just easily tackled. He's sort of under the spell. His moves are fine, but they're not too energetic, and that kind of throws the advantage away. Actually, 8. Wait. Oh, so you may take the pawn now on c6. However, as long as you don't mate, white king might become way, way, way more vulnerable. Knight e7, knight f5 is an idea. You could take queen c5 or 5. Of course, a trade would favor Dubov. That ending is probably just losing straight up, but now you're going to face the issue. Bishop d4 doesn't really work because there's queen c2 hitting the rook. So in reality, you're sort of facing this one, and you're struggling. You are actually straight up struggling here. Struggling in this situation takes. Knight c6 could be an idea. In c2 or e2, getting closer. And the problem is that the king is always in danger. Knight d is an move, but f5 of course is more typical. Yo, Nisu, thank you for the follow. Knight d3 puts pressure. Knight e1 is coming. The king is in deep, 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 deep trouble. Yeah, Dubov had a great position again, but then he was very indecisive. And that's interesting because That's not something that you'd say with DUBOV. 5. Um, Playing a more aggressive system, but we'll see how aggressive it goes. Go to d6, b6 tries to hit f2 pawn. At f5, do some queen f6, d4, or bishop e6. Very traditional play. Nothing out of the ordinary. Like really, really fine. Goes back. Bishop e6. This is a tricksy, but g6 is typical. Because if you ever go g4, that pawn is just not worth it. You'd rather want to have a safe structure. Goes queen f6, g4, queen g6. This is an unusual way of playing. It's not the way people usually play. h3, rook e8. Could be king f1. Guess he could go back, or just go knight d6, because in either case, well, in this case, even then is possible, but he could go knight. And this bishop is sort of acting like an honorary pawn. Pawns could become weak. So trades, knight f4 could be an idea. But if you don't get long-term attack, so there, this works tactically because of knight 3 check. Now the knight gets to c4, and that will provide compensation. Not necessarily saying that black is equal. Wait, knight d4, then you can just take trades. Or check. Wait a second. Suddenly black is the one storming in. These pieces are a little passive. Rook 2. They're doubles. Rook g1. G1 I'm not a huge fan of. Rook f2, trying to avoid that. What gives compensation for Magnus is that his knight is much better, and of course he's up on clock like he has been most of the time. This threat though is sort of annoying. Knight b5 and knight d6. He's jumping around up and down like a clown, and he's getting funky there. Takes the pawn, could be a menace. d4 takes, check. That d4 might actually be something worth of a try, and he goes for it. There d3, rook c2 is going to be a real threat because knight f1 working still, and there's takes. Now it's a little tricky. Rook c5 is very nice, hitting on the knight. Now the rook goes around. 5. There, you could even go there, think about sacrifices. He might try to do that, but meanwhile the king came too close. And I think it's still fine. It's just complicated. Here, but white is the one defending and struggling a bit. There, struggling. There, rook d6, king f5, rook e6, h5, g4 is coming. That is sort of a problem. Obviously. There, knight c2. There, king e2, check. No more of that. You're losing the g pawn. Wow, and this never really felt like a great situation in the first place. It felt like, oh, that this is going to be anything but that. 4, king c4, yep, and that's piece. So yeah, it's very difficult these days. If you don't crash through there, you're just gonna get destroyed. 6, playing some Norwegian line, unlike my favorite duck variation, the Trojan duck. There, takes, lots and lots of pressure on 4c6, c5, trying to go for c4. A bit more aggressive, and it does work, because even if white wins the pawn, which he kind of refuses to do, then you sort of run into issues. Pretty bad issue. Four, pressure there. Black is again just completely better. All of white's pieces are on the first rank and they ain't doing nothing. They ain't doing anything over here. Rook d1. Up. Although, you trade, it's going to be an opposite colored bishop position. That might not be enough for a win. But it is a bullet game, so it may happen still. May actually still happen. f5. There takes, trying to go bishop f7 soon enough. And that would be a problem. But now he can take here. Can't really take that one because I'm just going to swarm you with my rooks. I guess that's a bad luck. You don't want to face that. Check. He trades rook c7. So Magnus will try to milk this. How far he will go, I don't know. And 7 bishop 7. I mean, objectively should be a draw, but practical game. He hits the bishop, so you can't take on. You could give that bishop c5 over lance. Check there, check bishop. Yeah, it definitely. Well, you can check. That was a very nice move, forcing the king back. This is a pretty hard to win, but what Magnus does with it. There. On good run, but you know, you don't want to miss mate in 1. That could be a problem, so chick back, that is an idea, but of course he's not falling for it. It is eventually go a5. That ending is drawn, but I don't think that Dubov necessarily wants to go there. May, but wait, that's just a pawn. Oh, it's not yet because bishop 7 isn't. f4. Pawn is pretty good. We may still see the trade. Wait, don't, because that is a check. There's g4. Can't do that because e4. That's a no-no. He checks first. Checks again. King e6 checks. e5. The king has been driven away. But that square is still controlled. Wait, the square is correct. So if white has to give up the bishop, that might not be enough. But on the other hand, it still takes a lot of time till it gets there. There, king is coming back. There, and if there, then there. There it takes. There, okay. Now this is probably losing because, as I said, if I even rook f3 is an idea in g2. Doesn't do that because it's of course not necessary. There, ooh, that pin is deadly. Takes g2, queens g, because this is the right color. Game over. Pretty much game over. Up, very much on the game over territory. d4, d5, c4, e6. There, knight c3. Stakes. Bishop f4. Knight a6, castles, knight c7, to rook 8. All very standard stuff. Nothing too particularly unusual. F4, G4 is a little courageous. It's actually hard to go against it and defend against it, but it is risky. The move spawns in front of the king. David. for the follow. E2, knight takes, d takes. There will be f5 ideas in the future. He goes fe, gets an open file, and potentially go for e4. That's why he goes in knight to e6 to hit or pawn. Chillax over there, just chillax. I'll go aggressive. c5 attacking the or pawn. It's actually sort of fizzling. For Magnus, looks a lot like tons of weaknesses, and that's about it. Hey, immortality has there. King g7. Knight h5 takes pressure there. Sacrifices, he kind of understands that the momentum might just dry out, so he goes for something speculative, but on the other hand, it just don't seem to work. Knight f3 check. Little move, although if the queen somehow could teleport its way. e6, wow. 5 bishop f6. Yeah, just bishop f6. There, the king walks. You could just go bishop f6. I mean, that was only move. Go queen f8 because every trade is a win. Knight e3, he's not even bothered. I'm probably gonna get checked to oblivion, but I mean queen f8 takes. Don't care. I mean, makes sense. Go for a quick attack if you. I'm all right. f4 check. There's this perpetual queen f8. I mean, I really would want to move my queen. I would really want to move the queen. He finally did. He's not gonna mate alone. Or there, okay. There comes a buddy. A little bit of a buddy. That wins. Check. One. Quite good. Quite nice. Salty got a win. Did several blunders. Okay, so another Aliahin. Some typical play. Takes nasty tactics. And even though the structure is a little broken for black, he's going to get a bit of a control of the center. 6 goes for f6. Is an idea, but pawns start rolling, you might just lose the game. Simply enough. 5 f6. The pawn. That wasn't necessary. He probably just gave that away. Up. See the case? But there's still some play because the knight is very awkward and it's on 8th. Team. 2. Slowly getting the game. c5 and trying to restrict it. 6. Oh, there goes the bishop. By bishop. Yup. So, yeah, not sure if Magnus is a fan of ducks. Not a duck person, I don't think. Knight b5, the old classical line. One now it takes on 6, but this is the old classical one. Avoiding knight e7, 5. Black eventually wants to kick out the lady, which is a rude thing to do, but happens, has to happen. Just the way it goes. c8, 4. Black's pieces look funky, but so does white's. It just don't look that fun. It actually is all over the place. gotta admit. Knight is actually getting to better square, and eventually some b4, a5 idea may just get around, move around, and become kind of strongish. Trades, so there's a queen trade here. D5, knight a5 is very strong, and I do assume he missed this. This is a problem. Probably could have gone b4 first, with a very normal position. This one, however, it looks a little lackluster. Takes rook c5. Yeah. One knight d6. Blockades. Not be that easy. But it's still a pawn. There's compensation, but it's not done. Is compensation, but not a whole bunch. Alright, so e4 presses there. Takes. AB makes a lot of sense and probably should. Down goes rook b8. The king can become target. Rook a5 avoids it. King may actually become an actor. Or is a plan. I think black actually got some compensation from a place where it seemed like there is none. k6. I'm going to press on the knight. Probably you should back that outpost. Then try to just go around. I think he's spending a lot of time. I think rook d better. He goes knight c4. Takes d6. I, for some reason, feel that this just isn't. Wait, d7 takes king a2, you lost. Now. Okay, so he's taking a lot of pawns, though. But is it going to be enough? I don't think so. I don't think it's quite enough. GG6, setting up some mates. Probably you can cut it. You may want rook f1. Wow. It's very nice technique by Magnus. Very, very, very nice technique. Is very impressive. Check, check. Don't have enough. Takes. That was important. So I move about. Six. Something completely else. Something completely else. 5. Going for typical attacking play in the Philidor. DUBOV is going for aggro play. B3, bishop c4, bishop e6, trying to go for d5 breaks. It's a question if it's going to happen. For now, it looks kind of dicey for DUBOV as the king is a little exposed on c1. Does not look great. Does not look too great. In this case, actually don't look awesome. 6. Yeah, he's trying to keep the position locked in. The bishop there was always attacks on the bishop, and he's trying to make sure that doesn't happen. Bishop g5 would be pretty good. Avoids it, d5, and again if takes, then that's hanging, takes, d4. The plan is to go there, probably eliminate it. Now, from a strategical perspective, this is pretty annoying for Magnus. Takes, of course, he's trying to open up the files. And now he'll get some play because the knight is out of play. G6, bishop g7 will be a plan. Maybe not right now, but close future. 2. 5. Double in. Bit of double in. Yes. Bit of double and press in there. Definitely feel play. Rook d8. Rook takes c2 is smart. The king is going to be exposed most of the time, and eventually black should be untangling. E6, king g7. Checks, picks up some pawns. I guess maybe. Well, he's not afraid of that. Although, he should be. c5, knight d7. So he's basically going for this weird construction. Gonna get billions of pawns, but the knight is going to be super duper massive. He takes f3. It's actually not good. Actually, pretty. Yeah, it's actually, wow, wow, very impressive. All right, that'll be it for now. I did want to show you this trick that happened. Check, check, d5 check here. Of course, he could go king d7 here. But after king e5, there was d6 check. Takes, eliminating a rook that was supporting this pawn. Actually, it was. Alright, so that is what I have for this time. Enjoyed yourself. Did subscribe. But for now, we are great. I very much appreciated all of you. Found. Definitely look out for more.